Yo, this is gonna be a good one. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good one. Let me get the lighting right. Let me get the lighting. Hold up, the lighting is a little bit off. We're gonna do without the lighting completely. We're just going. Let me just see how the lighting do without it on all together. All right, yeah, yo, check it. So everybody's wondering what's up with infinity. You know what I mean? What's up with the title infinity, right? Well, to get to infinity, you must have trajectory. You must have a gun to bust towards infinity. Blah! You know what I mean? You must have a gun to bust towards infinity. A gun doesn't mean evil. Gun doesn't mean good or evil. All it means is you busting your gun towards infinity. You're going in that direction in time. You know what I mean? Now, if anybody get hit with shrapnel, so be it. You know what I'm saying? Infinity is a long way from here. You know what I mean? If anybody get hit with shrapnel or, grenade rounds directly, you know what I mean? So be it. You know what I mean? Infinity is a long way from here. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody don't want to get broke up. But, it's people that will jump in front of the trajectory of the firearm. You know what I mean? It's a firearm. You know what I mean? When I bust off, towards infinity, you can get hit. You know what I mean? Listen, stay out of my way. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let me take off these prescription joints. I don't know who that is following my prescription and all that. Yo, listen. You know what I mean? When I bust this joint, you know what I mean? Just know that if I'm going towards infinity, I don't need no fire extinguisher. I don't need no business cards. I don't need no flag or none of that. All I'm saying is stay out of my way. I'm traveling at a high rate of speed. You know what I mean? I'm not playing with nobody jumping in front of me to catch a ride to infinity. You know what I mean? I'm just busting off that way. You know what I mean? You don't have to believe it. You don't have to be convinced of none of that. All I'm saying is I'm going towards infinity with this live broadcast. Check this. Put on my prescription joints. Type in you have an option to respond, correspond, you know what I mean? You can go in the same direction or all that, but sit there and pretend you're not there or whatever you're going to do. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do, you know what I mean? Listen, I just typed in a message, you know what I mean? You see my message. It's not corrupt, it's not chaotic. You know what I mean? If I travel towards infinity, it means something. It means, the direction in time. This is a computer. It's a digital extreme. You know what I mean? The pandemic is present, but get that out of here. I don't deal with the pandemic right now, live broadcast towards infinity. You know what I mean? The pandemic, what's that? Move that out the way. Get out of here. Pandemic. You know what I mean? Talking about vaccines. Move that man-made concoction out of here. You hooked up to the graves in the museum and all that. Move that out of my way. You know what I mean? You don't respect the graves, you're not going to infinity nowhere. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to respect the dead in order to live. How you not going to respect the dead if you don't intend on how do you intend on living if you don't respect the dead? You have to respect the dead. You know what I mean? We've become numb to the extremes of coexistence. We have to coexist to some extent. You know what I mean? The jungle, animals coexist. Animals don't just kill everything in sight. Let me take these prescription joints off again. Animals don't just kill everything in sight. People have become to be worse than animals. They kill everything in sight and they're not killing for food like the dinosaur. The dinosaur killed and it wasn't for food. It was just based on existing. So the dinosaur no longer exists quite naturally. What would you think would happen to the dinosaur if somebody bust their gun, you know what I mean? Because they wasn't consistent with life. But, you know what I mean? Who you think would tolerate it? Nobody would tolerate, the madness of a dinosaur killing for no reason, just endlessly killing. You know what I mean? So the gun went off. You know what I mean? The gun went off towards infinity. You know what I mean? You get hit with shrapnel, grenade rounds, all that. Everything is 100 when you go into infinity. You're traveling at a high rate of speed. Anything getting your way, bow to the movie. You know what I mean? Nothing less than what you'd expect. Now listen, let me type something else in the description. Not in the description, in the conversation. If you're gonna have a conversation, you're gonna have a conversation, comment or something. You know what I mean? Whatever, right? Do you? Just watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? So listen, everybody want to be good. Everybody want to be evil. All that. You know what I mean? Goes where it goes. I'm not part of your scenario. I'm outside of your plan to undermine what I'm doing. I'm outside of that. So why do you need to be before me every step of the way? Don't be before me every step of the way. I'm gonna eliminate you out of the equation right now. I'm busting up, busting off, busting my infinite gun. Busting my infinite gun. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how I'm busting it off. There's good, there's evil, and I'm not neither one of them. I'm coexisting, attempting to coexist with the people in existence, but at times it's intolerable. You know what I mean? When it gets intolerable to the point of me having to defend my existence, my direction, my 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 contributions to humanity, when it comes to that, so be it. You know what I mean? I bust my gun, but you know what I mean? That's just how I'm doing it. You just get hit with shrapnel, or you just still in the conversation. You still have an option to comment. You can leave your likes or whatever. You know what I mean? All that. Listen. So I need transportation. Everybody knows I need transportation. I don't have the resources. Everything's being redirected. The black market is trying to dominate who I am. But you know what I mean? That's the way it's going down. I'm just going at it. You know what I mean? I'm going at what's in my way. If you see you in my way and you see my direction, you see my creativity with this live stream. Hold up, let me take off these prescription joints. You see my live stream, you see how I'm doing it, you know what I mean? And you just hating, but that's what you get, you know what I mean? I'm not doing it no different. It's in your mind, you know what I mean? It begins in your mind. Like, when did he bust off? When you was hating? Damn, you shouldn't have been hating like that. If you was gonna hate, why would you be standing in front of him hating? Why would you be before him hating in the way that he would just bust off and it go lodge right into your brain and you can't remove it? Why would you do that? Get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be before me if I'm traveling in the direction I'm traveling in. I'm coexisting. I'm seeking peace. I'm seeking scientific discoveries. I'm seeking. You know what I mean? I'm in search of. You know what I mean? I'm not curious. I'm seeking the elements of my existence. I'm not dominating the universe and nothing crazy that man has concocted. I'm not dominating all of existence. That's not what I'm doing. But I will bust my gun. I will bust my gun. If you doubt that the shrapnel will hit you and lodge in your brain and never be removed, then you just doubt it. It's something you're doing, not something I'm doing. Listen, I don't need no interruptions. I don't need no distractions. When you see me bust off, know it is a distraction or disruption, and I'm not tolerating no distractions or disruptions at this rate of speed. You have the option to communicate. You don't have to sit there and pretend that you're not there. You have the option to communicate right now. You don't want to communicate? All right. Put on my prescription joints. Throw a comment in the comment section. See what's real after I put a comment in the comment section. You don't want to say nothing, we just go past you. All right, now listen. As we just passed you, you know what I'm saying? You still sitting there, you know, quiet as a mouse, you know what I mean? Squealing or whatever you're doing. I don't know why you're here. Why are you here? You know what I mean? If you're not gonna say nothing, you're not gonna respond, you're not gonna function. I don't need all that in the direction of travel that I'm traveling, the speed that I'm traveling. I don't need nothing that's just staring there watching and not functioning. If you're not functioning, you're not being humane. You're not being real. You're not functioning based on intentionally not functioning. So I take off the prescription joints again. So I don't want to be distracted in my efforts to travel based on what the title of this live stream is. I don't want to be distracted. So if you sitting there, sit there quietly. Don't distract me. Don't get in my way at any point. Listen, my last live stream was about science. This live stream is about science, but it's within a direction of a trajectory of you know uh when people think infinity, they think you have to die. This is a key subject in the effort to travel to infinity. The science of never dying is a science. Nobody ever broke through that science. I just picked that subject, and that's how far the conversation goes. Digitally, this is digital. You see me digitally. The conversation, the intent, the direction goes that far. I land right to where it goes. It stops here and it stops there. No, when I changed the subject and went to infinity and not dying, it went as far as it can go and it stopped. Why did it stop? Do you have to die? Do you have to go through this experience of death? Do you have to be exposed to the elements of fear, courageousness? What are the rules? Because everybody doesn't know the rules, or if there are rules, they weren't instructed to everybody. Everybody doesn't have a clear understanding of the rules. So now that you have an understanding of my direction, but I don't want anybody in my way. If you bust off, you know what I mean? Bust off for your own reason, and I bust off for my own reason. When I bust off, it's based on maintaining the consistency that I've expressed. So I'll go in the comments section once again. Don't think I'm just doing that unnecessarily. I'm doing that within reason of being distracted. This is a live stream, so you got people, throwing fakes and stuff like that. It's resistance right now. So don't think I'm doing that for nothing. I'm really up against the worst enemies I've ever seen in existence. So, I'm going to throw a comment to somebody, in the event of someone responding one of the comments. Now listen, as I travel through this divide, this internet divide, no one's corresponding, no one's functioning on the level that I'm functioning on. And it's a science whether we live or die. It's a science whether infinity involves dying. We don't know where this broadcast is going to land in time, but what we do know is this broadcast is recorded. It's recorded and it's live right now. The people have access to this information, and I can't particularly see who's in this space, this digital space. Right now, it says a certain amount of people are in this space. I'm not going to say how many because then you would know what I know. I don't want you to know what I know right now. You're not responding. I don't know who it is. I don't know why they're doing that. All I know is, listen, all I know is it says a certain amount of people are in this space and they gain the benefits of being in the space. Not my concern. You gain the benefits of this space. Donate. It's going to be a link in the description. Donate. You know, you can donate from $1 to $1,000,000. A lot of these extremes that I expressed of not having transportation. As soon as I get transportation, I'm going to another district. I'm letting it be known now. I'm not going to be in this district driving around. It's not going to happen. I'm not comfortable here. I reached a point in my life that I've been exposed to the worst enemy I've ever seen in the history of my experience as a man. You know, I don't want to be around this enemy that I'm exposed to. If I see this enemy face to face, chances are, bah! I'm not going to doubt it in my mind. So I'm going to put that in the enemy's mind. Let it be known that the enemy is carrying around that response, that reaction in their mind. I'm not tolerating the enemy at this level. Let me take off these prescription joints. Now, the enemy is certainly going to be lurking. Maybe not present. I don't know exactly who has access to these live streams. You, come here. Who has access to these live streams? Find out. Go there. See what the difference is. This is not a game. I'm not playing. I don't have my fire extinguisher. I have water. This is a bottle of spring water. So you can see that, you know, I'm going to drink some water. Who has access to this live stream? It's something about drinking water digitally. When the difference of me drinking water digitally shows up, I see a big image of you being able to see me drink water without putting my mouth on the bottle. When I don't put my mouth on the bottle, it's based on this is spring water. Digitally, this information is going to transfer because I'm going to explain why I don't drink directly out of the bottle. When you open this top, your hand is over the complete portion of the plastic. See the top off? There's a remaining portion of plastic there. If you drink from the bottle and your lips touch that plastic where your hands were just on there, you exposed to the elements of whatever you touched or wherever your hands have been. And, you know, just drinking water, spring water, digitally, spring water digitally. So you can see that says spring water. Spring water. Digital spring water. So I'm either going to be good or evil. I'm not going to be evil. It's my choice not to be evil. I'm not going to be evil. I drank spring water digitally, and I didn't put my mouth on the bottle. I explained why I didn't put my mouth on the bottle. And it's as precise as the direction of infinity as I expressed. Now, when I explained that to you, you understood me clearly. Spring water, a fresh bottle of spring water, didn't put my mouth on the bottle, didn't do nothing less than what you would expect, just drinking water. during a live broadcast. Nobody knows where this is going. Hold on. Put on my prescription joints. Bah! Now, who is that? Who is that? I heard somebody. Who is that? I'm not bugging out. Who is that? If I drunk that spring water and the precision involved in drinking that spring water is digital, then if I hear something, chances are I heard something. Who was that? Oh, that was you. Why didn't you put your link in the description? Why you didn't donate? You're gonna hit your head blown off doing that. Stop doing that. All right, you're invisible. All right, you want to be invisible. Okay. All right, this digital extreme spring water, not touching the bottle with your lips in the pandemic. You want to be invisible. Okay, be invisible. So infinity is the direction. Infinity is a place in your mind where you have an option to be precise as your intent. Your intentions could be you don't want to travel towards infinity because people are intending on harming people that intentionally try and travel to infinity. Whatever your reasons are is without saying. I'm just saying my direction in this broadcast is infinity or is infinite, and the vehicle infinity, the vehicle company infinity has nothing to do with my direction. The vehicle company infinity has nothing to do with how I compose this live stream. Nothing to do with it. I took it upon myself to say, well, I'm going to make a live stream and name it infinity. And my conversation leads this way. That's where my conversation leads. Let me correct that. My conversation leads this way. You see under my nails? Under my nails is where I scratch my head, and it appears to be dirt, but it's not dirt. It's like scalp skin. Scalp skin. I go through that. I scratch my head when I don't have a hat on, and under my nails, it's not dirty, but it's from my scalp. It's oils and things like that. It's not just dirt, like dirt from the floor. It's not like that. It's something else. Particles of hair and stuff. Shave my hair, and it's particles of hair. Things like that. So notice what else on the tip of my finger. I have a mole on my finger. You see there? I have a mole right there. You see that? That's a mole. That mole is there as accurate as on my son's exact finger. My son has the same mole in the same place on his index finger. Believe it or not, the same finger, my son has the same mole. When I noticed it, I just looked at it for what it was, but it's something that identifies us as similar. We're similar. We're not the same. He looks like his mother to some extent, and he looks like me to some extent. But based on this experience, this extreme of redirecting me through traffic and things like that, we don't communicate much. He could probably hear me right now, but I'm not going to say Happy Father's Day. He has children and things like that. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm not going to put that on a live stream about infinity. But saying that to say, I have a child. I have a son. I participated in the reproductive process, and my experience was, I hate you in the delivery room. I hate you, says his mother in the delivery room. So when I went through that experience, I said if I was going to ever go through that experience again, I make sure it wouldn't be around somebody that hates me. in the delivery room. The doctor heard it. The staff, the medical staff heard it, and it was distracting. And as distracting as it was, I didn't leave the delivery room. I stayed in the delivery room and followed my son being born. I made sure my son was born despite his mother's outlandish slur. So when she made an outlandish slur, and and uh I just maintained my position as a father on that day, June 11th, 1989. It maintained a direction in time, but I'm just busting my gun because if anything coerced her or manipulated her mind at that point in time, I don't want it to affect me in the direction of travel that I'm going. So let me put something in the comment. I have one prescription joints. All right. So saying that to say, you know, uh, the direction doesn't appear to be less than good, evil, Beretta, love, 24 hours, and born. Those are the comments that I put in the comments section. Now, nobody's chatting right now, but it appears to be somebody present. We're not going to go into detail of who it is or anything like that. I don't have any uh, identification or anything linked to any likes. Throw a like up there. You don't have to say anything. Throw a like up there. Let me see if you like what's being said, because it's a lot of information. Throw a like. You won't throw a like either. Okay. All right. So listen, I'm not mad at anything. It's just distracting for somebody to be present as soon as you make a live stream every time and never say anything. All right, listen. So my son was born. I went through the delivery process of my son being born. Let me take off these prescription joints with the precision of the prescription itself and the precision of my conversation and direction and time that that I'm traveling. So my son is born now. Now the extremes that were present during his being born are present now. Somebody walked up with a gun, and his pregnant mother, uh she may have been smiling or something like that, but I wasn't smiling. I was as uncomfortable as I appeared at the time. And they had a 357 Magnum. And when they had a 357 Magnum, most certainly I don't look no less than I appear, despite what they believe. If they don't believe I was dangerously in place, they don't have to believe it. Just know I was prepared to do the worst at that point. But I didn't do the worst. I maintained my existence, and my son was born. I saw my son being born, and it was an experience. It was a sight to be seen. Today is Father's Day. Today is the first day of summer. Let me put on this prescription. There's a direction of information that transfers when I wear these prescription joints. I wear these prescription joints for the same reason. I've expressed. It's a precision involved. So my son was born, and the gun was pulled out in the process of his birth. The experience that a challenging extreme presented itself. The person isn't alive today, might I add. The person that pulled the gun out on me in Creighton Court isn't alive. I don't need to call his name. Who said that? Call his name out. Who said that? That was you? That was you said that? Bah! Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I just lodged a projectile in your mind based on you just playing around. Don't play with me. Now the person's not alive, and I'm not happy for the situation. It doesn't help me in any way for the person not to be alive. But just know the person put himself in a dangerous situation at that location in time, and another location in time, which caused him to be killed. It was ultimately killed, and that's how things transpired in time. He pulled out a gun in one place, pulled out a gun somewhere else, and so on and so forth. Got killed doing that. Now, this locality, eh, I've been shot twice. I've been jailed. I've been imprisoned. I went through other extremes that I won't quite express at this point, but we just don't get along. Obviously, we just obviously don't get along. I'm not going to pretend that we do any longer. Everybody's pretending that they get along in this situation. We don't get along, and it's an obviousness present right now. And I won't tolerate nobody coming around me pretending that we get along long enough to do something else behind the scenes. I'm not tolerating it. Just stay away from me. I stay away from you, and we square off. If you come around me, I'm going to be for. Bah! I'm not even going to consider if. I'm not going to consider if. Just leave it like it appears. We don't get along. Enemies. Leave it like that. Now listen. Back to this live stream where I don't want people that don't agree with me following what I'm saying. I don't want people exposed to me when I don't want them to be exposed to me. So make sure that you don't invite or sound inviting or hold a conversation with them or keep something going around people that I don't agree with. When my son that was born was affected by being in this environment without agreeing with being in this environment, things happen to my son that I don't agree with. Things happen to me that I don't agree with. As soon as time allows, I'm going to be in no less of a place than my preference, not in this situation. This situation is a toxic situation. It's like being in a polluted swimming pool. You don't want to be in a polluted swimming pool. Water getting in your mouth and it's polluted. You just don't want to be there. It's obvious. I don't care what you yell out and scream. We don't care. We don't like you. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is this live stream goes in the direction of the title that it's titled as. That's what's important to me. Now, whatever the difference is of dying and living, I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to figure that out. And before somebody puts an ultimatum before me, I'm going to bust off and make sure they understand I'm busting off because I'm not tolerating things that they're attempting to do around me at no time. But I'm not tolerating you. Stay out of my way. Stay out of my conversation. Stay out of my path. Don't hinder anything I'm doing. Don't follow anything I'm doing. I'm making this broadcast for certain audiences. Science department, history department, uh, social services, all types of different chemistry, medical department, all types of chemistry that would complement what I'm saying as opposed to challenge what I'm saying and cause some type of friction. I don't need no friction right now. I'm talking about good as opposed to evil. I'm talking about uh, fairness, peace, harmony. That's what I'm talking about. But getting to that place in infinity is another thing. Getting to that place, it won't be there tomorrow, obviously, because right now they riding in Portland, Oregon, and the police were indicted, and once they were indicted, they all quit. And the rioting situation in Portland, Oregon, is certainly not related to Donald Trump. It's related to other issues in Portland, Oregon, so on and so forth. And what you have is a situation that I've expressed in my most recent previous video. I expressed how these riots are coming about, how these situations are presenting themselves, and we've been going through this for about a year now, with all these extremes of pandemic present at the same time. We've been going through this for about a year. When we initially went through it, it was like it was by surprise. It was by surprise, and nobody knew how to deal with it other than dealing with it. And a lot of people died as a result. I'm gonna leave that to say. I'm gonna leave that said to say. No less of a direction. No less of a direction. Donate. Click on the link in the description and donate. You have an option to roam around. It's gonna be some videos there. It's gonna be, it's entertaining. Visit my website. Visit my YouTube channel, Mad Butter by Dolla50. Peace. And subscribe while you're there. Make sure you throw a like. You listen to my whole conversation this live streaming. You didn't say anything. You didn't throw a like or anything. You're an empty person. Peace.